A lot of teams need quarterbacks this offseason, and we've undergone the coaching carousel, which I always love talking about to see where all the dominoes land. But now, a lot of teams need quarterbacks. So I'll give you a list. Take this in any direction that you want, and you could even name a team that's not on the list. Following teams will need quarterbacks in 2022: Broncos, Steelers, Commanders, Panthers, Lions, maybe the Dolphins. We'll see what happens with Tua, the Buccaneers, and the New Orleans Saints. Of all the teams that need a quarterback, and say you're an elite level quarterback and you can decide which team I want to go play for, which of those franchises is most intriguing to you and why?
I'm going to Tampa. Shit, I'm going straight to Tampa. The reason why I'm going to Tampa, I like their defense. They brought a lot of guys back. Coach Ty Bowles still sitting there, a former head coach. So he already certified as one of the top defensive coordinators in the league. And yeah, they lost Byron Leftwich. But what I do know about Coach Bruce Arians, if he wants to take control of that offense, he can take control. But he's going to wind up bringing somebody else up in the ranks as well. You know, and then when you look at their offensive line and the pieces they got to the puzzle, like, yeah, do they need to bring Godwin back? I think so. But heck, with this draft, they got some receivers coming out this draft, and we'll get into this draft later on in our shows throughout the upcoming weeks and months, leading up to the draft. But yeah, I'm looking at Tampa all day. No state tackles. They know how to win. I got a coach who's going to be hard on me. He's going to coach me well. He's going to be a no-nonsense guy. I got a defense sitting on the other side in Ty Bowles, and I understand he knows what to do as a defense coordinator. I got some running backs now. Like, it's a few pieces to the puzzle, and I could be that piece to the puzzle. So if I'm Jimmy Garoppolo, man, if I ain't going to Pittsburgh, I'm damn sure going to Tampa. For sure, I'm going to Tampa. You know, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, yeah, Pittsburgh sounds good. Me and Coach Tomlin, we've been flirting with each other, probably texting each other in the offseason. But hell, I can look at Tampa and say the same thing. I can go to Tampa. You know, so if I'm Russell Wilson, I can go to Tampa. So I'm looking at Tampa as the key. Now, a team who has young studs on the offensive side and a young team is Denver. Denver don't sleep. That's all Denver. Denver is missing, in my mind, a veteran quarterback right now because they got all the young pieces you need. So you give Denver a veteran quarterback, oh, they're going to take off. You give Denver a young quarterback, it's just like, unless he's a Joe Burrow-ish. You give Denver a young quarterback, his mentality has to be Joe Burrow. He can't be a Baker Mayfield. He can't be, or it has to be like a Justin Jefferson. He can't be none of these guys that want to be more than what they are, the quarterbacks in the NFL. You know, if Denver get a guy, the guy mentality, and he's young, either has to be Joe Burrow-ish or Dak. Dak just a quarterback who understands how to be a professional. He's just a natural leader. You're not going to hear too much about him in the offseason. He going to go by the book. You ain't got to worry about him, blase, blase. But either it's Denver or it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But if I'm my first goal, if I'm a quarterback, hey man, let me see what that 813 talking about. That's what I need to see. I need to go down there and see what them boats and see what that Hulk Hogan Beach look like down in Tampa. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Oh, I love it. Having lived there for 5 years of my life, we'll meet in Clearwater Beach in Florida and have a day. One thing you forgot to mention with head coach Bruce Arians too, you forgot that he is the quarterback whisperer. So he has a great track record of success with quarterbacks. Did that, and I know Byron Leftwich worked hand in hand with Tom Brady, but that was really a seamless transition going from the 30 for 30 with Jameis Winston to Brady to Super Bowl title, making it back to the playoffs this past season. It's not just Godwin that's a free agent, though. If I'm a quarterback going to Tampa, I call up Rob Gronkowski on the phone and say, look, I can't be Tom Brady. I can't morph myself into Tom. But what can I do to convince you to stick around in Florida to continue your career? So Tampa is intriguing, but can you bring Godwin back? Can you bring Gronk back on that offense? Two huge questions there. I'm totally with you. Go ahead, Ike.
Hey, Mark, they already got tight ends. They got Brake. They got an O.J. Howard. So I mean, the reason why they brought we know why they brought Rob Gronk back because of Tom Brady, TB12. Like that's Tom Boy. But yeah, I'm not gonna act like, Brady isn't a good tight end. I'm not gonna act like OJ Howard isn't the first round draft pick. So them guys just need the opportunities. Once Rob came in, everybody kind of had to fall in line because that's Tom Brady's man. So whatever Tom wants, that's what Tom gets. But nowadays, man, we back at it. I thought they was just as deep at tight end just as well as the Cleveland Browns, because the Cleveland Browns is deep too at their tight end position. So yeah, man, I think that's a perfect. If I'm a quarterback, that's exactly where I'm looking. Man, I'm telling my agent, and I feel like we got a chance to get to the next level or get back to the Super Bowl, for sure, the playoffs. Hey, man, get me down there to Tampa, please.
Yeah, and that's the one thing with Denver too. Like, they've got a lot of offensive skill position talent, but then you got to go in the AFC West division. You go up against Mahomes and the Chiefs, and then Justin Herbert and the Chargers, and you might have to win some shootouts. And that's the exact argument we've used for why Aaron Rodgers might not wind up with the Denver Broncos, because of the stiff competition, particularly at the quarterback position, and the talent that you need to bring to the table, given the quarterback talent we see in that division. So I like the Broncos as well. They've loaded that offense up because they wanted to make it work with Drew Lock. It didn't work. They bring in Bridgewater, who won the starting job in 2022. Bridgewater now due to become a free agent too. It's like Denver is really just a quarterback away from being a formidable team in the AFC.
Hey, man, I know the Baltimore Ravens still have his restricted rights. But if Huntley slides to Denver because he know what it is and he got some games under his belt, if that young man slide to Denver, they're going to slide their ass right into the playoffs. That's exactly what they're going to do. Because I think the young man understands what it is now to be a quarterback in the NFL. He's a better pure passer than Lamar Jackson. He showed that. So all he needs now is a offensive coordinator who's going to groom him as much as he needs to be groomed, with a young perimeter talent sitting over there with the Denver Broncos. Mark, I'm telling you, if Huntley slide his butt over there, it could be an issue for the AFC. That could be another young team, because if you go from 6 up, you looking at excuse me, you looking at Derek Carr and company. Then after Derek Carr, you're looking at Justin Herbert and company. Then after Justin Herbert, you looking at Lamar Jackson and company. Then after Lamar Jackson, you looking at Joey Burrow and company. Then you're looking after him, you're looking at Josh Allen and company. Then after Josh, you're looking at Patrick Mahomes and company. So when you want to say deep at that quarterback position in the AFC, them boys six quarterbacks. That's 6 teams I just named with some good quarterbacks, and I'm putting Derek Carr at number 6.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to a 1920s baseball reference. That's like Murderer's Row, Ike, of a who's who of elite quarterbacks, all stacked in the AFC.
Stacked young. The oldest is Derek Carr. And Derek Carr is considered still young in his prime. Man, Patrick Mahomes, Joey Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr. Like, man, that's Josh Allen. I mean, come on, man. Sometimes, like, I was thinking about this offseason. I said, man, I wish they trade like 3 of them quarterbacks out of the AFC so they can go to the NFC. So they ain't got to keep fighting. It's like brothers just keep fighting each other. That's all the AFC about to be. Like, they're going to love each other. They're gonna rock with each other. But it's like brothers just fighting each other. Like, bro, why y'all got to keep fighting, bro? Mama and daddy keep giving us whoopings. We got to keep fighting because that's how deep the AFC is. Like, ain't nobody fighting in the NFC.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
saying? Yeah, well, and Ike, when we talk about this in like 10 or 15 years and we look back on this, it's going to be like, well, this quarterback in the AFC wasn't a Pro Bowl or he wasn't an all-pro. And it's like, let's try to figure out why. Oh, it's because he's going against Patrick Mahomes. Oh, he's going against Joe Burrow. Oh, he's going against Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr. Not all of them can be all-pro and Pro Bowlers, is my point being. So when we look back on this and we look at the talent specifically in the AFC, something that the NFC really doesn't have in terms of young stud quarterbacks.
Yeah, they deep over there in the AFC, Mark. Them boys are super deep in the AFC. In 10 or 15 years, me, you, and Miss Courtney, they're going to be giving us millions. Y'all heard that Bleav in Steelers podcast. So, man, we're going to be eating. We're going to be talking good. Everything, we're going to be all the way good because that's what we headed.
Like, really quickly, I want to make the case for each of the other teams on the list. The Steelers, get the offensive line right. I think the Steelers do have position at the skill position players, a stout defense. You've got two players in their prime in TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward on the defensive side. So let me go through and make the case, and I'll ask you which stands out at the very end. The Commanders, I think you have a stout defense over in Washington, Chase Young and company that you can rely on. Team that made the playoffs 2 years ago despite very shaky quarterback play, and that led to the emergence of Taylor Heineke. They're in need of a quarterback. Panthers, you've got maybe the best back in the game when healthy in Christian McCaffrey. He struggled with injuries the last few years. The Lions, you're going to be protected for the next decade with Penei Sewell at the left tackle position. He's going to be a stud. The Dolphins, no state income tax, new head coach, fresh start. Jalen Waddle's pretty good at the receiver position. And for the first time since the 2003 season, the Dolphins have had back-to-back winning season. We already went through the Bucs. The Saints are really the toughest sell, Ike. And it really depends on if Thomas, the receiver, can come back. But you're in salary cap hell at $73 million over the cap. So that's the one where it's like, it's tough for me to make the case for the New Orleans Saints. But of all of those remaining teams, do any of them stand out to you? Because we talked at length about the Broncos and we talked about the Bucs. Who stands out from that list? Which team?
Miami. Because I'm thinking they quietly, they have probably one of the best secondaries. Miami. You know, they got a good. I'm so mad they let go of their head coach because I thought on this year right here, it's all good. But I'm looking at Miami, and I'm trying to. Tua is a great guy. Do I think he's the answer for the quarterback for Miami? No. That's another good fit too. Mark, I mean, honestly, if I'm Aaron this Tampa, if I'm Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, you 100% right. You know, I'm looking at Tampa and I'm looking at Miami. I need to see who the OC. I got to see who the OC is. I need to see the OC. I need to see the resume of the OC for Miami. But Miami is not.
Yeah, and Tua is under contract for the next 2 seasons. Ike, the Dolphins could decide to pick up the 5th-year option as well on his rookie deal. Really just kind of depends on how he plays. I'm with you. I haven't seen it so far, but he's going to get every opportunity to prove himself as a first-round draft pick of the Dolphins. But Dolphins also have a lot of first-round draft picks, so if they decide Tua is not the guy, they could also go through the draft to get someone as well to replace him as well. Dolphins do have options there. And Ike, we both know this, having lived in Florida, no state income tax in the Sunshine State either.
None. Now, why you think I'm just sitting here? I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna let you travel. You use the young stud, so I'm gonna let you five and travel. Me, I'm sitting my butt in the 407, and that's Orlando, Florida.